She fought for years to give the world Mother's Day. She wrote letters. She begged politicians. She campaigned relentlessly. She dedicated her entire life to it. And then, she spent the rest of her life trying to destroy it. She died broke. She died alone. She died in a mental asylum. Her bills paid by the very companies she hated most. This is the real story of Mother's Day. And I promise you, you have never heard it like this before. It's older than you think. Before the cards, before the brunch reservations, before the overpriced flowers, humanity has always felt the need to honor mothers. We're talking ancient Greece, ancient Rome, civilizations that worshipped mother goddesses, Rhea, Cybele, with full festivals, offerings, and celebrations. This wasn't just sentiment. This was survival. Mothers were sacred, the givers of life, the holders of civilization itself. Fast forward to 16th century Britain. There was a tradition called Mothering Sunday. It fell on the fourth Sunday of Lent every year. And here's where it gets beautiful. Children and servants were given the day off to travel home. They would walk miles through the countryside, picking wildflowers along the way. Not because anyone told them to, but because they wanted to hand something real to their mothers. That instinct, that pull toward home, it's ancient. It's in our DNA. But the story of how it became an official holiday? That involves 3 women, a civil war, a peace movement, a president, and one of the most heartbreaking betrayals in American history. And the person who got betrayed? She's the one who started it all. The mother who started it before it had a name. Meet Anna Jarvis, a young Appalachian homemaker living in West Virginia in the 1850s. She lost child after child to disease, measles, diphtheria, conditions that were entirely preventable if people just knew better. So she did something radical for her time. She organized Mother's Day work clubs, groups of women who came together to learn sanitation, to clean up their communities, to fight disease, to save the children that poverty and ignorance were killing. But then the Civil War arrived, and it split her community right down the middle. Neighbor against neighbor, brother against brother. And Jarvis didn't take sides. Instead, in 1868, 3 years after the war ended, she organized something called Mother's Friendship Day. Confederate soldiers, Union soldiers, side by side, brought together not by politics, but by their shared love for their mothers. Think about that. In the most divided moment in American history, a mother found the thing that united everyone. She once said in a prayer during a Sunday school lesson, "I hope and pray that someone, sometime, will found a memorial Mother's Day, commemorating her for the matchless service she renders to humanity." Her 12-year-old daughter was sitting in that room, listening to every word. She never forgot it, and that little girl would change history for better and for worse. The forgotten woman who almost beat everyone to it. But before we get to that daughter, there's a name almost nobody remembers. Mary Tolles Sassine, a schoolteacher in Henderson, Kentucky. In 1887, she gathered her students and led what historians now call the first known classroom observance of Mother's Day. She wrote a pamphlet. She toured the country. She pushed for April 20th, her own mother's birthday, to be the national date. Schools across multiple states adopted her idea. She was this close to making it happen. But she died in 1906, before her dream was realized. In 1926, the Kentucky State Legislature finally passed a resolution declaring Mary as the originator of the idea of the celebration of Mother's Day. One resolution, after she was already gone. History has a way of forgetting the people who showed up first. But the woman who did get the credit? Her story is even wilder. Anna Jarvis, the woman who moved mountains. Anna Jarvis, daughter of Anna Jarvis, never married, never had children, spent her entire adult life honoring a mother she had lost in 1905. She was relentless. She wrote to presidents, Taft, Roosevelt. She sent letter after letter to newspapers, governors, senators, churches. She enlisted Philadelphia merchant John Wanamaker, one of the most powerful businessmen in America, to help her cause. And it worked. On May 10th of 1908, She held the first Mother's Day church service at the Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church in Grafton, West Virginia, the same church where her mother had taught Sunday school for decades. She sent 500 white carnations, one for every person expected to attend. Here's something almost nobody knows. Anna herself didn't go. She was speaking at the Wanamaker's Auditorium in Philadelphia. The service was so powerful it spread like wildfire. By 1912, 7 years after 1905, 45 states observed it. Hawaii, Mexico, Canada, and on May 8, 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed into law. The second Sunday of May. Official, national, forever. Anna Jarvis had done the impossible. She took a personal prayer her mother whispered in a Sunday school classroom and turned it into a national holiday. But what happened next? Nobody saw coming. The holiday that ate its creator. Within months of Mother's Day becoming official, the flowers started selling. The cards started printing. The candy boxes started moving off shelves. And Anna Jarvis lost her mind. Not literally, not yet, but she was furious. She had envisioned something sacred. A handwritten letter, a personal visit, white carnations worn with meaning. She had even been very specific about the apostrophe. Mother's Day was singular possessive. Not Mother's Day, not a celebration of all mothers, but each family honoring their own mother. Instead, what she got was a Hallmark holiday. She called greeting card companies charlatans. She called florists pirates. She wrote screaming press releases calling the commercialization the most vicious insult to the spirit of the holiday. One of her most famous quotes? A printed card means nothing except that you are too lazy to write to the woman who has done more for you than anyone in the world. And candy, you take a box to mother and then eat most of it yourself. But she didn't stop at words. Anna Jarvis went to war. The arrests, the lawsuits, the madness. In 1923, she stormed a candy convention in Philadelphia. Confectioners were tying chocolate sales to Mother's Day. She walked in and started screaming. In 1925, she crashed a convention of the American War Mothers, a group that was selling carnations to raise money for servicemen. She was physically dragged out, screaming, struggling, and arrested for disturbing the peace. She filed dozens of lawsuits against businesses for misusing the phrase Mother's Day, a term she applied for the trademark. She wrote furious letters to Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady of the United States, accusing her of crafty plotting because Roosevelt was using Mother's Day to raise funds for charities that fought maternal and infant mortality, the very kind of work Anna's own mother had done her whole life. Anna Jarvis had become so consumed by the fight that she couldn't even see anymore what she was fighting for. She spent every dollar she had. She alienated almost everyone who supported her. She withdrew from public life entirely. Her last act of protest was going door to door in Philadelphia, alone, elderly, nearly broke, asking strangers to sign a petition to repeal Mother's Day. Nobody signed. Nobody listened. And in 1943, Anna Jarvis was placed in the Marshall Square Sanitarium, a private mental institution in Westchester, Pennsylvania. She died there in 1948, age 84, penniless, childless, alone. The bills for her care, paid anonymously by the greeting card companies and florists she had spent 30 years trying to destroy. You truly cannot write something this tragic. How the world made it their own. But here's where the story gets beautiful again. Because while Anna Jarvis's vision got commercialized in America, the feeling behind it spread to the entire world. And every culture made it their own. Argentina celebrates on the third Sunday of October. In Australia, they use white chrysanthemums instead of carnations. Why? Because carnations are a spring flower, and it's autumn in Australia during May. In Japan, Mother's Day was actually banned during World War II. Any Western custom was forbidden. But the moment the war ended, it came rushing back. Because you can ban a holiday. You cannot ban the love for a mother. In Ethiopia, families gather for a multi-day harvest celebration called Antrasht, full of songs, feasts, and rituals honoring mothers through generations. In Nepal and Hindu tradition, there's Mata Tirtha Anshi, the Mother Pilgrimage Festival, where sons and daughters visit rivers, offer prayers, and if their mother has passed, perform rituals at the water's edge. In Indonesia, it's celebrated December 22nd, the anniversary of the first Indonesian Women's Congress in 1928, a day that was originally about women's rights and evolved into honoring all mothers. Every single culture, every single tradition came to the same conclusion. There must be a day, there must be a moment, where we stop and we say thank you, because life moves too fast, and mothers carry more than we ever see. The part that should make you think. So why one day? Anna Jarvis's answer was, it shouldn't be just one day. It was supposed to be personal, ongoing, real. But here's the uncomfortable truth most of us won't say out loud. Most of us don't call enough. Most of us don't visit enough. Most of us realize, too late, how much was quietly given to us without us ever noticing. Mother's Day wasn't created to replace daily love. It was created to make sure that at least once we stop, we look up from our busy lives, and we make the call. We write the letter. We show up at the door. Julia Ward Howe wanted it to stop wars, and Reeve Jarvis wanted it to save children's lives. Anna Jarvis wanted it to honor sacrifice. Mary Tolles Sassine wanted children to feel the weight of gratitude. None of them wanted a $30 greeting card. They wanted presents. So this year, maybe skip the card. Write something. Say something real. Do something your mother will actually remember. Because the woman who gave everything to give you this holiday died alone. Try to take it back. The least we can do is use it the way she intended. If this story moved you, share it with someone. Not as a card. Not as a forward. Just tell them. Tell them about Anna Jarvis. Tell them about the wildflowers picked along English roads. Tell them about the prayer whispered in a Sunday school room that became a national holiday. Stories like this deserve to be passed down. And if you want more hidden histories, the ones that didn't make it into your textbooks, hit subscribe. Because we're just getting started. See you in the next one.